Hello.
And hello.
Welcome to the Purple Evolution. This is a request for listener input, and it is about the subject of seeing color. We are going to do an episode on seeing color, and we would like to have it be from your viewpoint, not ours. Specifically, if you are black, or if you consider yourself of color. We would like to hear what you have to say instead of two white guys talking about it. And I'm going to start off, Armand, with an example from my life that has triggered me, and perhaps you'll be able to give some examples from your life as well.
Perfect.
Wonderful. So my example is that I have never said to people I don't see color, but that has been my experience for my entire life. And I'll give you an incident. The first one I can tell you is I was working at a elementary school in Orlando, Florida, and they had 1,300 students there. Huge elementary school. And I remember one time there was an employee there who I am still good friends with, and she was asked to write down the numbers of the different races in our school, and she said that there were 6 white kids, 6 white students in 1,300. And she told me that, and I said, what? I was shocked, absolutely shocked. I mean, that's a pretty low number. And the reason I couldn't believe it is because I never saw it. I never thought about it. I never cared about it. But when she actually said 6 out of 1,300, well, that's pretty noticeable. And I thought, okay, wow. But it really proved to me that I didn't see it. I didn't notice it. I don't care about it. I don't care how many Mexicans we have in our school. I don't care how many Asians we have in our school. They're kids. And it has affected me in my life in different ways, with my family and my friends, even my girlfriends. I don't see things like eye color and hair color. I cannot tell you what color eyes my mom has or my dad has. I have no idea what color hair a lot of my family has. I'm sure you can understand that gets me in trouble with girlfriends if I can't tell you what color eyes they have or what color hair they have. I will tell you what I notice is I always notice if somebody has a kind heart, if somebody has empathy or shows empathy. I can always tell you if somebody smiles or not. They'll say, what did you think of that person? Can you describe them? Oh, they were so friendly. They were always smiling. I never talk about how tall they were, or if they were skinny or any of that. So I have noticed that all of this affects me now because of an incident that happened to me yesterday. And I pulled into a Publix parking lot, which is a grocery store here in the Southeast. And as I'm pulling in and about to park, I notice 2 spots away from where I was going to park was a truck and a man sitting in the truck with the window down, and that he was black. And instantly I felt like horrible that I even noticed that he was black. I never in my wildest dreams would have ever noticed that before. But there is so much conversation right now around the topic of seeing color and being black or not being black and social injustice that I noticed it. And I felt horrible just that I noticed it. And then the worst thing happened. My mind started racing. Well, now I'm pulling into this spot and it's 2 spots away from his car. Does he think I'm a jerk because I don't want to be close to a black person? Or does he think it's okay because I'm just respecting the COVID era and not being too close? Or does he think I'm nice because I do say that he's black and I'm giving him his space, or blah, 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 blah. My mind is racing. So then I get out of the car and I start walking towards Publix and I think, and he says hello to me. He said, hey. And I thought, I looked up and I said, hey. And then I thought, does he think I'm a jerk because I didn't engage him in more conversation? Or does he think that, I'm okay because of like all of these thoughts? And then as I'm walking to Publix, I couldn't decide if I should walk close to his truck or further away from his truck. I mean, it's ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous, but it's all because I was seeing his color, and I've never noticed that before. I never would have thought that before. I just would have been parking and gotten out. Someone says hey to me, I say hey back, and I go into the store. And now I'm concerned about all these things that people are thinking about me, all because I have never acknowledged that before in my life, and now it's becoming obvious. So that's my story. I am going to invite the listeners, and then we'll hear your story, Armand. I would like to invite our listeners to tell us what you think, especially if you are Black. Please go to thepurpleevolution.org. Click on the purple button that says Contact Us, and leave a message. It's a voicemail message. You just click on it and you speak, and you hit stop when you're done, and you can review it to make sure you like it. And then you send it, and that's it. It's very easy. It's free. It takes just but a minute or two, and tell us your thoughts, and maybe we'll use you in one of our future podcasts about this issue. You can also go directly to speakpipe.com/The Purple Evolution. That's speak, like I'm speaking, SPEAK, PIPE, like a pipe that you would smoke. Speakpipe.com/The Purple Evolution. And that'll take you to the same exact page. Please click on the button and let us know. Armand, tell me your experiences, please.
Well, firstly, I am excited to hear from the listeners what they come up with, because this is a fascinating topic and important, very timely. By the way, happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth.
A wonderful, wonderful celebration of a very important evolutionary time in our history.
Amen.
And it looks like we're in some other version of another positive giant leap for mankind. At least that's my dream. I find your story absolutely fascinating, because I think you are the exception to the rule. And when I was hearing you talk, I thought about how much freedom that you had. I believe that when you don't see color, especially skin color, which has so much stuff around it and history around it, you have a freedom that most of us don't have, because you don't have to, or didn't have to, go through all these mental masturbations like you went through at that Publix, where the rest of us do, To me, it's been a desire of mine since as long as I can remember, since I do see color, and I see height, and I see eye color, and I see weight, and I see a person's sex, to tame any kind of an ego that might want to judge that. And that's pretty awesome that for most of your life, you just have been free of that. So that's awesome. It's almost like you got these glasses where everything's a lot clearer now. And in some ways, it was better off when it was a little fuzzy, because then you just saw human beings. I think that's phenomenal. By the way, I did go to my optometrist last week, and he said that my hindsight was 20/20. So I have a couple of stories that aren't quite as fascinating as that. But, one of them is, I remember my mom telling me, 15 years ago, maybe 20, she said she had this wonderful conversation with this Black man today. And I knee-jerked into a little judgment of her, where I went, why did you tell me he was Black? You're contributing to racism. I was a bit of a social justice warrior back then, and I was a little hypersensitive. And now when I look back on it, I think my mom was just telling me about the conversation and telling me something that was a little unique for her, because apparently most of the conversations she had with people were white in her circle. And so when I hear that you didn't see color, I think that's awesome. And when I hear that I and others see color, I think that's awesome. What's not awesome to me is developing prejudice, expressing prejudice, and feeling judgmental because of what we see. So I bet you we're going to get a ton of awesome input, and I can't wait to actually have an episode that shares our listeners' points of view around this topic, especially now, more than ever. It seems like this is an absolute landmark vibration that's going on now, because people of all different races are on the same team to fight racism in the most profound way I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I am. I want to know if people think I'm a bad person for having not seen color before, or if it's a good thing that all of a sudden I'm starting to. Please, again, go to thepurpleevolution.org and click on, I said purple button before, but it's actually a blue button. Click on the blue button that says Contact Us, or you can also go directly to the page by typing in speakpipe.com/thepurpleevolution. Either way, it'll get you to the same page. Send it to us, and we will air an episode soon on this subject. Really grateful for your input.